Tonight. Want to start in the Great Lakes area, send it upstairs to the lab with severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes for more on what's happening in places like Chicago. In the cave now to talk about these above average numbers, not just for this month, but really the whole year.
Yeah, each month thus far has been way above average. Most of them pretty close to twice the average. For the viewers, how to read this is April 43.
Morning, some warm afternoons. And a lot of people are going, goodness gracious, I cannot plan for what to wear. I'm freezing in the morning. By the afternoon, I need to shed my layers. This is layer weather, and it's typical of spring. Dr. Navarro here with us to talk about, how you plan for these days.
It's true, but tomorrow's going to be one of those days that's going to be particularly difficult to plan because you have these really warm temperatures, and it's owing to something that we call the diurnal cycle. And so now, fancy terminology, all that means is anything having a daily cycle. So could be temperatures, could be clouds and precipitation. Even hurricanes have a daily cycle, which I actually wrote about in my thesis.
All right. Well, something tells us we're going to learn. We're going to learn a little bit more on that as we go get into tropical season, right?
Yes, right. But all that means is that as that sun angle increases and the sun goes higher and higher in the sky, that intensity of sunlight increases along with it, and so it gets hotter during the day as that sun angle changes, and so that's why we see warmer temperatures in the afternoon and in the early evening as opposed to the morning.
And it can also be aided by the dry air. We've noticed the humidity not really around yet. Also, the clear skies can really allow for those big swings.
Absolutely. But some of these temperatures tomorrow are just going to be incredible. Portland, Maine, your low in the morning is 33 degrees. But I got my fancy cheat sheet here.
This afternoon, we hit what?
60s. But look at this. Tomorrow, 66 degrees. So 30 degrees, that's a 33 degree temperature change, right?
That's incredible.
But it gets better. Harrisburg, 40 degrees in the morning, so pretty clear morning. You definitely want to bring a jacket, but literally 80 degrees is their high.
So quite a change. I mean, you don't really know how to prepare the kids for the bus stop. It's all about t-shirt, under sweatshirt, maybe even under light jacket.
Exactly. And then the last one, this one just gets me. So now in D.C., the forecast for tomorrow, 82 degrees. That's warmer than places in Florida. And again, we're talking nearly a 30-degree temperature change in some of these places. I mean, that's just crazy.
All right, so get your layers ready to go, folks. Thanks, Dr. Navarro. Hey, we've got much more. Something to note, this slide just 2 miles from the site of the deadly 2017 landslide that killed dozens of people. Dr. Erika Navarro here with me now. And Dr. Navarro, you've lived in the Seattle area, so this is close to home for you, and this was a big event out there.
Yeah, this was a huge event. Unfortunately, I think this brings back a lot of painful memories for some people because this was exceptional. I remember being in Seattle at this time when the Oso landslide happened, and so now this new one that they're monitoring is about 2 miles to the west of the original landslide, and so Brandon's driving us on this Google Earth here, and you can see, Alex, this is the mark of that original landslide on the satellite.
This was a huge expansive area. This area about, you said maybe a little over an hour to the north and west of Seattle, an hour to 2 hours, a very hilly area. So you can see basically the slope here that just gave way and then unfortunately down into, neighborhoods or at least places where people were living.
Absolutely. And so one of the other things this impacted people for weeks, if perhaps months after that original landslide, because if you notice here, there's one road going through this area. And so if you have to close down this highway, people have to take the very long way around. So your commute went from 30, 40 minutes to 2 hours, in some cases.
And this new landslide area right around that route. So this would be the zone that we're watching. Doesn't appear at least, at the surface to be as steep as the previous area, but they are monitoring that slide. And you've mentioned it's been very wet out there.
Absolutely. I mean, Seattle has had one of their top
disaster. I want to bring in Dave Norman, Washington State geologist, joining us now via Skype. Can you tell